Hello again everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As we started the week off with some rotary flying, I thought we'd finish on the same note. So in today's video, we are going to be taking out the FlyInside Bell 47G once again. We're going to be taking the aircraft on a scenic tour around the islands of the Outer Skerries, one of my favourite areas to fly in the sim. For those who aren't familiar with the Outer Skerries, it's a series of small islands located off the northeastern coastline of Scotland. It comprises part of the Shetland Islands. It's a pretty small location, but it's actually one of the handcrafted areas within the sim, which we got some time ago with the UK update. Unlike many of the custom sceneries in the sim though, it's not just the Outer Skerries airstrip itself which has been given extra attention, it's actually the entire island chain. And as a result it makes the scenery incredibly immersive. There's a lot of detail to take in, again albeit in a fairly small area. So it's not going to take us long to get around the islands, but it's perfect for a bit of rotary flying. We'll take in the scenery, I'll try and discuss some of the features here as we go. Also worth noting that I recorded this particular video with a slightly older version of the Bell 47G. You'll notice here from this introduction shot that the pilot model, for example, has been reworked to fit more comfortably in the seat. Similarly now we can also add a 3D passenger model, and if you purchase the aircraft through the marketplace, you can also use the FlyInside application from within the cockpit as opposed to having to use an external menu. Anyway, it's a pretty beautiful morning here in the Outer Skerries, pretty light winds around so it should make for a nice cruise. As always, I do hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Let's now head for the cockpit of the Bell 47 and we'll get the little helicopter started up.
So welcome once again to the cockpit of the FlyInside Bell 47G. As you can see, we've just got ourselves strapped in the left hand seat. We'll run through our startup checks. So the pre-flight inspection has been completed, seatbelts are secure, ignition is off. Collective and cyclic movement will check. So coming fully up on the collective, and we have full and free movement. And the same on the cyclic. Mixture can go to fully rich. Carpet is set to cold. Circuit breakers are checked in. Battery can come on, as can the alternator. Gauges are checked. Rotor area is clear. Collective is down. Throttle is closed. Beacon light can come on, as can the nav lights. Ignition can go to both. I'm going to engage the starter. So we do have a good start. We'll adjust the throttle to maintain 1700 RPM for now. Oil pressure has come up into the green. Instruments can come on. Avionics, we'll leave the radio and the transponder off for the flight today. We're not going to need either of those. Cylinder head temperature, we're looking for a minimum of 50 degrees Celsius, currently showing 100. And just waiting for the rotor RPM to spool up there, come up to 300 RPM. Nav lights are on, strobe lights and the landing lights can come on. And we'll just continue to wait for the rotor to spool up and then we'll be ready to depart. Okay, so we're all set and ready to go. As you'll have seen, we're pretty tight in terms of space here at the moment, so we'll just come up on the collective. We'll bring the helicopter up into a hover and clear the fence initially. Just starting to feel the aircraft getting light on the skids. And we're up. So as I say, we'll clear the fence. We'll track out towards the east. We do have a slight tailwind if we do that. You can see the windsock there, pretty dead. Now we'll just backtrack along the runway, we'll build up a little bit of speed, get into some transitional lift, and then we'll swing back round out to the west, carry out our tour of the Outer Skerries. So just passing up the northwest mouth at the moment. We've obviously got the lighthouse just over the other side of this hill. This is the island of Grune, just off on our right. And we'll start tracking back out towards the west. We'll follow the coastline. There's the lighthouse. We'll do a fly past of that on the way home. We've got the Lambert stack just off at our 11 o'clock. And we'll keep tracking along the coast. Really stunning piece of work from us over, I have to say, with the Outer Skerries. The coastline looks really rugged, very authentic. So we'll enjoy that as we go. The island of Brure just off on our left. That's the island we departed from, the island with the airstrip on it. So we've got the north mouth just off our 11 o'clock. You can see a little fishing vessel down there in the inlet. And now tracking over towards the island of Halsey. It's the biggest piece of land on the Outer Skerries. Quite an interesting little piece. We'll obviously cover that as we go. Got West Voe, that's the inlet just down at our 11 o'clock currently, again with the fishing vessel down on the water. Looks like we've got a few little fisheries down there as well, in towards the coastline. You can see as well lots of little leftover ruins from various buildings in years gone by. A lot of history to the islands. Anyway, this is West Voe, just down on our left. We've got the Hog, which is the spit of land just off our nose. And again, a few fisheries down there at our 11 o'clock in the water. Got a trawler just off on our left, and a couple of buoys as well, just in the inlet there. Anyway, we'll keep tracking southwest momentarily out towards the outer edge of the islands. And just coming right down to the southwesterly tip of the island. Unfortunately, the name of the tip of the island is not on my chart, it's just off the page. But we've got the Benelip Sound, it's the body of water out towards the southwest of the islands. And again, as you can see for yourselves, really rugged, really spectacular coastline. Anyway, we'll pull a fairly sharp turn now out towards the northeast. Beautiful early morning sunrise. Fairly late in the year here, so the sun still coming up over the horizon. We're about 9:30 local time in the morning. And now tracking out to the northeast up the coastline. We've got a few geological features on the way. And you can see really the entirety of the islands off in front of us. Pretty small little area, but again very beautiful, very rugged. A little inlet here just off our 11 o'clock, doesn't seem to have a name on the map. But the inlet just after is the Holm. Anyway, continuing to track round, that's going to bring us in towards the south mouth, which takes us back towards the island of Brunei. And we've got the south mouth just off our 11 o'clock. You can see the habitation's obviously pretty sparse on the island, but the majority of it just off the left of our aircraft at the moment. We'll take a closer look at that as we come back. We've got the main pier just down below us at our 11 o'clock at the moment. And you can see the airfield again, just make out the windsock off on our left. So coming back over the island of Brunei at the moment. And we'll track out towards the lighthouse. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to land at the lighthouse as the landing pad is not currently a hardened surface in the sim. Really not sure why Sobo did that with some of the features that they added. Of course, it would be nice to be able to land there. Anyway, we'll do a couple of laps around the island, take a look at the lighthouse itself. We'll keep a nice tight turn radius here as we come round. Going to bleed off a bit of speed in the process. So you can see the landing pad just out to the south of the lighthouse, but as I said, unfortunately we're not going to be able to land on that. Anyway, we'll track back towards the island of Brunei. We'll come back in via the northeastern mouth. And as I say, we'll take a closer look at some of the habitation on the island. Come back on the collective here, we'll lose a little bit of altitude. The northeastern mouth just off the nose. We'll track back in via that, as I mentioned, and we'll come in via the airstrip. And then we'll go and annoy the locals a little bit. Again, coming off the collective, we'll lose some of our airspeed now. We'll make a nice slow approach around the town. And we do have a few pylons up ahead, so we'll just climb a little bit to clear those. And we'll swing back out to the south. We'll head over to the main pier initially. So you can see just a few small dwellings. There's quite a bit of dry stone wall work as well. There's the main pier just down at our 1 o'clock. And a little fishing trawler there currently docked up at the pier. I really love the scenery there. It's really nice attention to detail from Sobo, and as it's an entirely contained unit, it actually feels very convincing overall as an island. It's really nice. There's the pier. I think we've got the school just off our nose. A little bit difficult to tell on the chart. If we follow the main road out from the airstrip, the school should be located. I think that's probably the school field just down at our 11 o'clock. That would be my guess anyway. Perhaps the school bus just down below us. And then following the main road out from the airfield, we've just got a little bridge taking us back over towards the island of Halsey. And really just coming up now on the last of the more significant urban dwellings. And that's pretty much it. The Outer Skerries, as you can see for yourselves, rather a small little location, but a very beautiful one. Always fancied a visit to the Shetland Islands myself, so who knows, maybe one day I'll come and visit in person. Anyway, we'll track back towards the airfield. We'll go and land again just outside of the runway. Once again, this is the kind of flying that's just an absolute joy, Microsoft Flight Simulator. The FlyInside Bell 47, a really nice little add-on. And the scenery just absolutely perfect. A really, really fun little flight. So we've got the airstrip off at our 11 o'clock. Again, we're going to have to negotiate the pylons on our way down. There's no wiring actually modelled in the sim, but nonetheless we'll try and fly accordingly. I'm sure the neighbours are going to be really happy to have a little Bell 47 coming over their rooftops at 9:30 in the morning. And again, you can see the dry stone walling there of the historical buildings on the island. So if we just swing out to the left slightly, we'll be able to avoid the pylons on our right, and then we can come in. Again, going to have a very slight tailwind coming in from this direction, but it's going to allow us to keep our rotor and tail clear of the building. The wind's almost dead, so it's not really an issue. Just coming in over a little reservoir at the moment. Feeding in a little bit of left on the anti-torque pedal just to keep us straight. Juggling the cyclic as always in the Bell 47. And our power setting seems to be pretty good at the moment. Just making sure we don't drift into the building here. Trying to keep the aircraft tracking nice and straight. We'll slowly start to lose some altitude here as well. And just trying to lose any drift before we touch down. Really having to concentrate now. We'll just inch forward a little bit more. And now coming off the collective. And we're down. So safely back on the ground, we'll get the little helicopter shut down. First we'll close up the throttle. So we'll get the auto governor off. And just slowly reducing the throttle there. Throttle is closed, the ignition can come off. Mixture is cut off. Lights can come off. We'll get the strobes and the landing lights off for now. We'll leave the beacon on until the rotor's wound down. Alternator can come off. And again, we'll leave the battery until we've had the main rotor run down, then we'll get the beacon and the battery off.
So there you go guys, I do hope you enjoyed our scenic tour of the Outer Skerries in the Bell 47. As I mentioned during the flight itself, I think the combination makes for a very immersive, very enjoyable outing in the sim. Again, with the islands being a self-contained unit, they hold up very well visually within the sim. So they make for a very impressive experience. I would say that they're well worth a visit, and something like the FlyInside Bell 47G, or indeed the Got Friends Mini 500, perfect for this sort of flight. Once again guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving it a like. If you want to see more content from the channel, then please consider subscribing as well. As ever, a very big thank you to my channel members and patrons for all of your support. It is thoroughly appreciated. I do hope you're all keeping well, take really good care wherever you are, and I will see you all again soon.